I need funding for this for 2 more years. And they would say, well, why? And you would say, well, from all the stuff that I've gone through, this and this are really important things. Those are going to be your findings when you're done with your coding, hopefully. You're going to say, okay, all of these kind of things are talking about one big central idea. All of these things are talking about another big central idea. And that's what you're really going to talk about in your analysis, your findings in your discussion. You're going to say, through all of this, I found that this and this are the 2 big ideas. Here's why. So-and-so said this. This document said that.
Okay. All right.
That's how you kind of put together.
Okay. Well, then I think I'm good. I just have some work ahead of me.
Okay. And next week I am pretty free all week. So if you get to a point and you're like, I'm not sure I'm really good with this, then just shoot me an email and we'll talk.
Okay.
Okay. In a time that works for you.
All right.
Alrighty.
Okay. Thanks. I may stay and listen to some of their questions. Just
anytime.
Because I'm here.
So. Yeah. All right, Ben. Now I muted you. Hold on. I'm unmuting you. There you go. Talk. Now you're muted. Hold on. Don't talk.
Hello.
There.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay.
You were unmuting and I was unmuting at the same time, and it was basically muting you again. All right.
Gotcha.
Go.
Was I making noise before? Was I unmuted or something?
It was making some feedback, and I'm not sure if it was me or you, but we muted you anyway just to see if it helped.
Gotcha. Okay. I just wanted to touch base because I haven't yet. So I wanted to check that box, and then also kind of just run by my observation plan. I have kind of a combination. I know in one of the feedbacks statements you gave me, it had to do with looking at some of the assignments and data collection that they've been using. And so observe. So for example, if they're using some of the things I created and having students fill out work, you mentioned I could use that for observations. So I was kind of curious how you saw that fit into the observation.
Okay. So if you have the ability to watch them, then that's a true observation.
Right.
But if you're doing a digital observation, then you're looking at something over a period of time. So people use discussion boards for digital observations all the time. So if it's something that like the teacher is, I think I was thinking that you were having the instructors fill out these papers, not necessarily the students. But if the instructors are filling out like a paper on Monday, a paper on Tuesday, a paper on Wednesday, a paper on Thursday, and you can see a progression of ideas or how their strategies are changing or their thought process is working, you can use that as kind of sort of a digital observation.
Okay, gotcha.
Convenient with how we're kind of phrasing it this time because everybody's stuff is so different. And if you're doing like Twitter mining, you can't observe somebody doing their Twitter posts. You're just going to only be able to observe the Twitter feed and use that. And so I'm counting that as a digital observation.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, and then the other.
I didn't know you had access to.
Yeah, I do have. They're sporadic, and so my only challenge with actual videos is if those videos are going to actually answer any of my research questions.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, I had the subjects, the teachers send in videos of them implementing the curriculum, and some are sporadic, some are like little clips. Some is like a camera way in the corner of the gymnasium with no audio. So, I mean, is using that and recording themes and things I see from that part of the process, or is it not good enough?
Okay. So if you have that and you think that it's going to be any kind of benefit to you, yeah, use it.
Okay. If
you think that it doesn't help you at all and it's a waste of 17 hours of watching video, don't do it.
Okay.
I'm willing to work with you guys on their time because you have a very limited time with this. And when it hits dissertation time, if it's going to take you 2 years to write your dissertation, then you take 2 years and you take less credits per semester and we work with you on it. So, but for this, I mean, you have 4 weeks to do it. So there's a limited number of hours in every day. If you have a lot of video that you would have to walk through and you do not think it helps you answer the questions at all, then that's fine. Okay. And if it does help you answer questions, then pick 1 or 2 and focus on them. You don't have to do all of the ones that you have.
Oh, okay.
So if you kind of know that this person's really implementing it well and this person's like doing a half job on it, pick one, you know, an example of a good one, an example of a bad one, and focus on them. Or, you know, you want to watch 3 or 4 and see across the board how they're doing it. That's fine too.
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. Okay.
Yeah, but you do not, like, I have almost 2 terabytes of video from my dissertation collected. When I started looking at the daunting prospect of going through 5 classes of data with 6 cameras in each class for 13 days, I cried. And I was at a graduate student, like a doc consortium thing, and the lady said, well, what's the problem? And I said, I don't even know how to narrow down my video. I've got so much data. And she said, well, here's the easy thing. Where are you going to get your best data from? And I said, from these 2 classes, because they did better work on the project.
So just describe that.
And she said, okay, focus on those 2 classes. That's still too much data. What do you want to focus on? Do you want, do you have a group that did a really great job and a really poor job? Do you have look at the data that you have. And what I ended up looking at was the number of wiki edits they had. One group had like 187 edits on one page, and one group had 21. And so I took both of those groups, and the projects were similar that they came out with. They were almost exactly the same scoring on the rubric thing. So I picked a high one and a low one for that piece of data, and that's what I looked at then to kind of figure out where I was going to look and who I was looking at and what really difference there. So
okay, gotcha.
As long as you can explain how you're reducing your data, you can do that.
Gotcha, okay.
You can't just say, I'm picking out the very 2 best examples. You have to have a logical reason for it. These are exemplars, and I want to show people really how to do it well. Then you can pick the 2 best. I want to pick a good one and a bad one and compare and contrast.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So yes. That simplifies things as well. Okay, because I've got the physical data. I've got some spreadsheets related to the implementation, and I also have some surveys. So I can analyze those. I've already kind of started looking at those, and I've already started the analysis on that. Yeah, I've got the videos that I can kind of, I'll pick and choose the videos that'll simplify that, and that covers the videos. And then all I have to do is finish setting up the interviews and just record those, and I'll be good. So
okay,
I think I'm on a track.
Ben, I hate being in the same cohort with you. You make me look like the typical turd that I am.
Well, if you guys want to feel any better, Robert has to quit his job and move across the country on August 1st. And so,
oh, no way.
Yeah, he got a different job, so he's switching jobs. I don't think I'm telling anything out of turn. I don't think it was in confidence. Wow. So if it was, I'll have to apologize to him. But
well, I'll play ignorant, and next time I talk to him, I go, so what's going on with you?
No, he's changing positions, and so he's trying to finish everything up by the end of the month. So he's like fast tracking everything.
Oh,
because
man.
His other choice is to do it in the car while he's driving with kids.
I've done that.
That's his interview protocol, is in the minivan.
Well, I will tell you that there have been many times, like I talked to my daughter the other day when we were driving, and she said, at the time I hated you for going back to school, but now I really appreciate that you did and the work that you put in. But there were a lot of times whenever we were sitting at the campground and you were like doing homework.
That's hard. Yeah. Whew. Yeah. So, okay. Well, yeah. I think I'm good. I'll give the rest of the time to everybody else.
Hit me up next week, and we can touch base whenever you kind of get into the coding piece of it and putting it all together, and we'll touch base again on it. All right.
Perfect. Thanks a lot.
Sure thing.
Bye, everybody.
Over now.
Okay. Bye, I got a quick one. I'm only looking at doing 2 participants right now, but okay, because I'm basically doing the talk aloud and I'm recording and transcribing everything.
You don't have to transcribe all of it unless you feel that it's beneficial to you.
Well, it's easy for me because I found that I'm doing it that way I told you about with the Google Doc voice thing. So that's been working out real nice. And so then I'm going to search the text for, common phrases and see what, then go back and mark them, timestamp them. So I just wanted to make sure that 2 was enough to do that with. And I have 2 documents of pre and post test. That's it.
That's fine.
Okay.
Because I told you, the way you're doing your talk aloud, that's counting for your interview, and it's also counting for your observation, because you and Coop are kind of in the same boat. you're not looking at well, you could talk to them and like ask them questions afterwards, but really you're looking at how they're processing the whole thing and they're talking through while they're doing it. So the while they're doing it is kind of your observation, and the talking through is counting as your interview questions, because you're interjecting. Well, what do you know? Because George, we had talked about you saying, like, as you're working through this part, I'd like you to really think about why you're choosing each piece, or those kind of things. And those are like your interview questions.
Mm-hmm.
They're not really, it's really a talk aloud protocol, but it's counting for both, because it would be, for a lot of it would be silly for you to have them do that and talk it aloud as they're going through and say, okay, so now I want you to tell me why you were picking that piece, when they've already told you why you're picking that piece.
Right.
So it just makes sense to do it this way.
Okay.
Yeah, 2's fine. For this thing that we're doing now, for what we're doing this summer, this is dipping your toes in it so you see how it comes together.
All right.
So
I feel better now. I was just a little worried about that wasn't enough. So
no.
Okay.
You did plenty, because we already talked. You could have done a whole paper on the design of it. So
all right.
good.
Coop, how much did it cost you? Because you're probably using your kids too.
I am using my kids. And,
it cost me $10 so far for the first one.
well, it hasn't cost me anything yet. Okay. Well, unless you count the beach house and the cabin. Okay. Then it was expensive. But I was following your WhatsApp with Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, right.
So I'm gonna give that a shot, but I don't really intend to transcribe. And I'm glad I heard you say that, Doc.
When you do it with your kid, have them put the headphones on, connected up to the phone that you're using to record it with.
Oh no! I have like 3 hours of recordings.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and I'm like, that's going to be just okay.
Yeah, I just tried multiple things, and the audio was just horrible until I directly connected them to use my cell phone with a mic, this one right here, and I had them talking directly into it.
No, I think that's a great idea for the interview side of it. But since I did just observations of what they were doing, okay, with them, and they're talking about it, and it's all going on, right? I don't think. I really don't want to transcribe 3 hours worth of recordings.
No.
I think I think I would spend I'd spend an awful lot of time on it. And so what I'm going to do is just go through, and this may not be the appropriate way to do this. Okay. But I think it's going to meet the spirit of what we're trying to do. And I'm going to go through and just pull out those. I'm going to transcribe at those moments in time where they were saying things that I think fit the construct that I had in mind.
So this is basic. A methodology piece of this is, it's called Jordan and the reference is Jordan and Henderson. I think it's 1997, and I think I sent it to you, George, originally when we talked, the transaction analysis. And what they basically said, it boils down to, is you're going to go through your video, and you are going to identify critical events.
Okay.
You're going to identify, and that's the way you talk about it, and say, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. You're saying, I'm reducing the data on this because I'm going through, I am picking out the critical events that are answering the questions that I'm asking, and I'm transcribing those, and then I'm analyzing those segments.
Okay.
And so you can do that. You can do that with time stamping on, like if you do it in an Excel document or a Word document. I would suggest, and I mean, I know it's difficult. Vino is not working for everybody really well, but seriously dropping it in there and then just saying, even if you just label one thing, like letter A is important or interesting, and you just hit that where you're noticing the things, you can speed it up and do it at like, you really can't get any more than like 1.4 times faster and really hear what kids are talking because their pitch goes too high, because we have old ears. It's what I found. Because they've got their little squeaky voices anyway, and then they're going really fast like Minnie Mouse, and you can't really hear them.
Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Yes. But if you put it at about 1.3 and you go through your long chunks of video, and you just kind of like hit the A key whenever they're saying things that you're like, that's kind of cool. That answers that question. This is something I think is important. And then you go to the bottom level where it puts those all together. And I can show you guys if you want to see that. You go to the bottom level where that shows up for the key, and it'll play all those bits run together. And then you can download just the video of that piece of it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
Oh, when I did it with my 11-year-old, I had to ad lib and make it harder for him, which I wasn't ready for.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was going to get that stuff as easy because I found out later he had a basic coding class at some point in school.
Oh, awesome.
So, but the other friend's child that I'm going to use doesn't have that background, so it won't be the same questions.
That's okay.
Okay. All right.
You can show a novice and then someone who's had a little bit of background knowledge and show how the difficulty varied between them, and you could show how your piece worked between the two. That gives you a really nice start.
All right. That's good.
Yeah.
That's what I was hoping.
Hey.
Very cool.
I will tell you that there's been multiple times that I come into a classroom with an idea, especially just as being a teacher, and I'll come in and I'll be like, this is going to be awesome. You guys are going to love this. And I'll think this is going to be a 10-minute activity, and 45 minutes later, I'm like pounding my head on the wall because we're still trying to fold this little Flipfolio study organizer thing. We haven't even done the lesson. We just folded this piece of paper for 45 minutes. And then another time I came in and I'm like, all right, this is math. Don't let it scare you. We're going to be okay with this. We're going to do this. This is how we're going to calculate this. And they're like, we're done. And I'm like, okay, 10 minutes. We're done.
Oh,
what are we going to do now?
I had to keep on making it harder. I was like, okay, what do I do now? So it's like I'm thinking on the fly. He goes, okay, Dad, I did that. Now what? I go,
that's just something you learn. And I mean, you never know going in what kind of background knowledge people have, even if they say they don't have any, even as adults. So, I mean, you have people that'll pick things up. I've seen people doing like search and find things on the computer that are like, I'm not very good with technology. And it takes them, like you said, like 3 minutes, and you're like, okay, well, that was helpful.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I find this very interesting. I'm just now getting to the point where I'm catching up with you guys on the idea of transcribing. Like, my goodness, that's going to be just a huge pain in the keister if I try to transcribe this entire thing. Mm-hmm. So I'm really glad to hear you say there is a methodology that says I'm going to just pull out the important stuff, timestamp it, and move on.
Right.
I did want to show you something really quick, if
Sure.
if you and George have time.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. I will.
I'm here to learn anything new.
No. This isn't something you're going to learn here. This is just me sharing.
No, that's called learning for me.
I'm just sharing with the doc because this is.
You're riding horses at Cook's Forest.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Wow.
That's 30 minutes for me, George. I grew up. The kids in my class lived in that area.
That's my boy.
Oh.
He's the youngest, and he actually has done quite well with learning chess. And the girls have done quite well also. Hang on a second. I'm trying to get.
Okay, so one of my friends in high school, who was a year behind me, and then she was my roommate in college, worked at that horse barn for her.
Get out of here!
Oh no. And Karen, there's a Whispering Pines cabin set like right up the road from there, and that was
correct.
Meso's whole family. That's where they lived, and that was the work that they did.
We spread my mother's ashes out here.
Aww.
So that was. This is up to the fire tower in Seneca Point. Mm-hmm. It's my wife and the kids. I'm going fast.
Oh man, it's been so long since I've seen my kids that size.
I will never see them that size again.
I miss it. That was the trampoline days.
This is in the fire tower.
Mm-hmm. Yep, on the stairs going up.
And my boy made it up there. He's 4.
That's awesome. That's like 200 stairs to the top.
Wow. Mm-hmm. He made it up there?
He did.
My baby, who is the 250-pound behemoth that I was saying about today, pushing me out of the way and swimming past me with an all-star offensive lineman move. Butthead. He's terrified of heights. So when he goes on that tower, he only makes it to like the first level. Oh, what'd she do?
The day we got back, and you can't tell there, she went to a friend's house and was on a trampoline, and I had to take her to the hospital. This is her at the hospital getting ready to get stitches.
It looks like a good 3-4 of them.
That's funny. My 11-year-old got the stitches from a swing. A friend throwing a swing into him. Right there. right, almost the same spot, right above the eye.
I have a set right here. I have them up here, 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 here. I've got them everywhere.
When I go bald, it's going to be real bad because I've been hit like 4 times, pretty severe. My mom was a nurse, so she just put a butterfly Band-Aid on.
Oh, yeah. My dad butterflied this one and the V1 on my chin. This one, we actually went and had a surgeon put 14 stitches in because it was to the bone, but, you know.
Oh, wow.
My dad's veterinarian, so he stitched me up. Oh, that's good.
This is playing chess with them after they'd had a couple lessons. So in the morning, we would just get together and play for half an hour. That's cool. So I would play with each of them. They really wanted to play with Dad.
Mm-hmm.
That is awesome. My son used to play chess with me. It's been a long time. Now we play board games like you wouldn't believe. Catan is their big board game.
Oh, yeah, Alan is too.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, even my friends, I got friends that I go to their house, let's play Catan. Oh, my gosh.
I know.
It's crazy.
So we did the beach house for a week, and that's where they learned to play. And their uncle was also learning to play.
Uncle even.
So I have a 40-year-old single guy who was learning to play chess with the kids.
That is great.
Did you get his permission and his data too?
I did. And I got an interview of him, and I didn't get to record it. I just had to talk through it and write the answers.
That's pretty cool.
That's a great perspective difference too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. And he was
that's a great way to look for the commonalities between
he was particularly impressed with the way that I explained the pieces, their placement on the board, and how they moved.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he's like, you know what? I'm going to remember that forever. So I think you've seen all my kids there. That's the uncle. And so what happened was, once they learned how to play, they would sit. They were like, "Let's play a game of chess." Okay, and it's the same thing here at the house even now. And when we went to the beach for a week, and then we went to the cabin in Cook Forest, right? And I think I got a couple pictures coming up from Cook Forest where I wasn't pressing, we need to practice, we need to do anything, right? Here, this is Cook Forest. This is in the cabin.
Wow, you got some competitive kids then.
Oh yeah. They're setting up. They're like, let's go ahead and play a game.
That's awesome. My kids are competitive too. They even with grades, the quizzes, they come home and say, "Hey, guess what I got on my quiz?"
So I really think that I believe I did a poor job of, like this here. I took a picture of it, but I didn't make a note. But I could go back and I can tell you based on this picture pretty much what was going on. But I can't tell you the conversation they were having.
Did you get any feedback as far as like how many moves they were thinking ahead?
I really have that anecdotally by listening to them.
Uh-huh.
And it's really funny how they go, well, if you do this, then this could do this.
Oh,
and
that's awesome.
And if this does this, then what are you going to do? Okay.
Oh, I wish I had more of that.
Oh no, it's really funny because they are very competitive. Okay, and so one of them's like, yeah, but if you do that, he could do this. Okay,
that's what I need more of. That's really what I wanted to hear in the talk log. But my son wasn't. He couldn't come up with some of that stuff. You know, he didn't know where it was coming from. He just knew it.
but like with my youngest one here, the boy, right? I am just happy that he came away knowing how to set up the board and generally how all the pieces move. Okay, and as time has gone on, he's like, I am not sure about this next move because I think because I also did a session with them where I had them. I had a computer computer chess game,
mm-hmm.
right? And I said, play this at the basic level, and then on the board, move the pieces so that they're doing it on the screen. I said, but don't make a move on the screen until you've made the move on the board. Okay, so that they could see it 3-dimensionally and then do it over here 2-dimensionally, right? one dimensional or whatever that's probably two dimensional. And then you would know, George. You start talking 1, 2, and 3 dimensional.
Very good. Yeah. No, 2-dimension screen, 3-dimensional life. Let's count time. Then you're 4-dimensional.
So you can see that the oldest one got involved. Okay, and she came over to help the boy because his sister was whooping on him.
Oh.
Okay, so the biggest one came over to help him out.
Nice.
But anyway, that's just him setting up the board. Did he know how to set it up?
That's really cool.
That is pretty cool.
Anyway, you can't see it there, but there's a deer out there in the woods out front of our cabin. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. I thought that was
cool.
I had a lot of fun with it, but I don't know. I shouldn't say that I don't know.
If you get kicked out, you may have to jump back in.
Yeah, I am positive that having gone through that, it would be easier if I'm able to do this with the chess club at the school next year to go, okay, here's some stuff I should look at. Mm-hmm. I should look for these kinds of things.
Yes.
And then here are some things that would be really good to have teachers look for in the classroom. Mm-hmm. Did doing this change these behaviors? Do you see anything in this?
And I would save that piece. I would save the teacher piece for your dissertation. I would say for your IIP in the fall,
nice.
Simply piece it out as, here's the chess club. I'm going to watch the first 3 meetings and see how they pick up these pieces and look for commonalities across all the students. Because that's going to be enough data for you to collect for your IIP. And then that gives you the piece to build on from there to your dissertation. You'll have a lot of really, even if you don't consent those students, even if you don't consent the students in the fall and have that data that you can pull as a pilot, when you get to your dissertation, you're going to be able to say, these are the kind of things that I noticed. So this is what I want to watch whenever I'm doing these. And this is the behavior I want to see in the classroom.
Okay, I think I understand what you're saying. And I'll get a chance to talk to you hopefully tomorrow.
Yeah, slow roll it. Just slow roll it. Like right now you're looking with your kids and you're seeing the kind of pieces the kind of things that you said, this is what I want to look at with the chess club. Mm-hmm. Then in the fall, when you do your IIP with Ray and Troy, coaching you through it, you're going to say,